Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Starseed Immersion podcast. Today, I am very excited to introduce you to Allan. Allan is a transformational coach, hypnotherapist, mentor, and healer who guides people out of the illusion of anxiety and depression into empowered creation. After a near-death experience in the late 90s, his path led him to study with great masters and refine a content-free process that allows spirit to resolve blocks swiftly and for the highest good. He believes every client is a mirror sent by the law of attraction to reflect the next layer of his own healing and growth. Thank you so much, Allan, for being here. And I just want to start with one of the things that stood out to me. Like, what is your near-death experience, and how did this lead you to what you do today?
Well, first, thank you so much, Nikki, for having me on your show. And to start with the near-death experience, I always wonder where my journey really started. But when I listened to Ken Lloyd, who was a speaker on your show, it reminded me of that experience 30 years ago, which is so vivid, so alive in my mind that there's no way I could not remember it. So when Ken Lloyd talked about having his near-death experience, mine was sort of something like this. I was sleeping on my back. I was just sleeping in the middle of the night, and it felt as if something pulled my spine out of my body, causing me to be in an upside down U. And when I awoke in the morning, I don't know how long I was in that position. I don't know if I left my body or not. But after that experience in the morning, I woke up without one single pain in my body. My spine was straight. It was like as if someone kind of gave me a new life. And for the next 3 months, what happened was just about incredible. I don't know when it started or stopped, but I was living in love every single day. And I love the experience that, even though I got stopped by the cops for having all my paperwork wrong in my car, because when you move, you're supposed to register your car with new license plates and stuff. So I got a $500 fine. And I remember I was so grateful that I had $600 in the bank. Nothing was going to pull me down. I wasn't going to be mad at the cop. Wasn't his fault. It wasn't his problem. It was just me, just being so much in love with life that I could not be stopped. And I didn't know this for 30 years that it was a near-death experience. I had nothing to tell me. You died and you came back, or you felt so much love and you came back, that I didn't know who to talk to. Or, yeah, I talked about it a couple times to people saying, yeah, I had this like really remarkable experience, but I didn't know what it was until recently. But since that experience, which defined my life, I became a Reiki master. I learned about therapeutic touch. I became a practitioner. I learned the law of attraction. I went to about 50 different law of attraction events with Abraham Hicks because I did manifest my wife and all the free travel that the airline was giving her at the time. So it was kind of like, let's go to LA, let's go check it out. Or how about Phoenix, Arizona? Or how about Boca Raton, Florida? These events just happen one after the other. So the first thing that I started learning about manifesting was through Abraham Hicks and how to align your desire and your intentions and get out of your own way. I learned from Raymond Grace how to use a pendulum to measure energy. So now when I have clients, I ask, is this client good or not for me? I get my yes or no through the pendulum, but I also get it through different ways, like my fingers or a sway test. I ask about outcomes. If I have to make an important decision, like should I turn right on this street or left? No, I don't use that. But if someone calls me and says, you know what, someone is offering me this job, what would be the outcome of having this job? I love giving answers to total strangers because I'm not connected to the outcome. And generally they'll call me back and say, wow, that was the best thing I could have done is follow that advice or not. So yeah, I'm babbling a lot. So please ask me a question.
Well, that is incredibly interesting. And one of the things immediately I thought of was like, after your experience of living in love, like what happened? Um, it led to you learning more about law of attraction and these healing modalities. Did you feel that your life completely transformed after that point? Because I know your specialty is helping people release anxiety and depression. Did you have any experiences of that personally?
Yeah, so as far as anxiety and depression, I think that I most of my life before the experience was lived in fear. It was lived in apprehension, always worrying about which shoe would fall when and where, and just you better watch out, you better not cry. And I lived a very sheltered life. I did not want to take chances. I stayed at jobs too long that did not make me happy, that did not bring me joy, or in which I wasn't compatible for. But shortly after having that experience, I took all my money and I said, listen, I'm flying to LA to see Abraham Hicks. And I said, if this law of attraction stuff really works, I'm going to get a lot more back than I spend. And it wasn't long before like that. Let's say I spent $1,000, then that I got a $3,000 commission check for the extra sales. And so I did that several times, and it just kept on getting better and better. One day I go into work, and I was working in manufacturing sales, and my boss said, I'm really, really happy about the success you're having, but I noticed that you're not coming into work half as much, and I don't know what's going on with you. I said, if I tell you, you'll just have to fire me because you wouldn't believe it. So just stay out of my way. The sales will continue. And he did stay out of my way for a while. And then I realized, you know what? I'm just, I'm not really happy here. And I said, I'm going to give you 6 weeks notice. I'm not going to your competition or anything. It's time to have a new life. It's time for me to move on. And so what I did is I thought law of attraction, the way it would work is I'm going to go to interviews. I'm going to be interviewed by every single person who will see me, but I don't want those jobs. I just want to go for the interview to see what I really want. So the first place I went to was, for example, up in a big, huge office tower. And as I looked outside, I saw a park and kids playing soccer, and I said, ooh, I want a good view in my next job. So I put that on my list of what I wanted. And then I went to another interview and they said, oh, we have unlimited expense accounts because we want you to really look after your clients. And so I said, ooh, expense account. I want one of those. And I kept on making my list. I went to 10, 15 interviews. And when I finally got my job, it was like, at the time, anyways, it was my dream job. It had unlimited travel, so I traveled everywhere from coast to coast, Colorado Springs. We had a tour of Cheyenne Mountain, which is the military installation. But not only that, the Prime Minister gave us a plane because he wanted some business people from Canada to go down and check out the installations. So we were invited to do that. And it got so much fun because I would say, okay, I love the free lunches. And one day I left a meeting and nobody invited me for lunch. I'm like, what's wrong with this picture? And then I see someone knocking at the door, waving at me and saying, we're going for lunch. Would you like to come with us? So it was a really beautiful manifestation. I've manifested maybe 7 or 8 cars. Now I do it a lot more subtly. I don't have to be hit by a drunk driver or like hit from behind by someone who's rushing to pick up their daughter at school. But I learned how to do it. And it's really about coming from the heart and being in the right place and in the right mindset. And also today, I wanted to talk about the things that I learned since learning about the law of attraction, because connecting your breath to spirit, it all comes in. And I've been doing breath work. I wake up generally at 4 in the morning and I do some really powerful breathing. And I'm downloading my whole new business program because every time I do the breathing, it's like, oh, you should do that, you should call that, and you should. And half of it I forget because I'm so deep in trance, but it comes back day after day until I finally put it on paper and start implementing the steps.
Wow. So now I'm interested. What about the breath and the connection to spirit is enhancing or has shifted your law of attraction practice?
So I believe breath is connection to source. I'm really convinced of that. And most people forget to breathe or they're very shallow breathers. When you're doing deep breath, you get out of the head because you can't have a positive or negative thought when you're really focused on your breathing. If you stop thinking, the law of attraction says whatever you create is already in action, it's already created for you. All you have to do is align to it. But most people, because they're thinking, they think about, in Ho'oponopono, they say it's only data that's coming up to the surface that is existing for you to be able to clear it. But when this data comes, it comes as problems, it comes as issues, it comes as things that are not wanted. It's all the contrast that's already stored there coming to the surface. But when you're not breathing, you're reacting to life, you're not living life. When you connect to breath, it takes away all the clutter. So you're a clean vessel that allows those manifestations to come in.
Mm.
I hope I answered your question correctly, but
It does. It reminds me very much about being present in the moment instead of like when you're thinking, you're either like thinking about your past or you're worrying about your future. And that's where the anxiety comes from because you're worrying about what hasn't happened yet, right? So being with your breath is allowing you to stay present in this very moment.
yeah, and the breath is present all the time. I mean, you can go for more than a couple minutes without breathing, but when you do it deliberately in the morning, it sets up your whole day for success. So, it's like once someone starts calling, and that's why I love 4 in the morning. It's the best time of day for me because nobody calls, nobody's expecting a call back, nothing. And when you put your intention, because everything is about intention, consistency in intention and trust in the process allows you to open yourself up. So if you're doing it in the moment, saying, okay, now I'm going to breathe because I'm anxious, yes, it settles you down. But when you do it in a quiet time and you develop that routine of doing it every single day for even half an hour, I mean, I go to the extreme. I'm an extreme person. When I do something, when I commit to something, it's like I'm all in. Take me to the cliff. I'm going to dive. I've never dove before, but go for it. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, I do everything really intensely, and yet when I come down to that 2 hours, for example, this morning it was great because we only have 3 days left in the month. We're the 28th. I think there's 30 days or 31 days, whatever. And I said, okay, so 3 more days. I wonder if I could manifest that extra $400 just to just to pay off that little piece of debt that I have. I want an extra $400. And out of the blue, which it doesn't really exist, but someone calls me and says, I need a session. Could you do a long distance session on my son? Absolutely, no problem. And then I got a referral, no problem. And yeah, and now I'm saying I have still 2 more days. I wonder what else I could do. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That is really interesting. So I'm curious, right? Because there's a lot of people who wonder, okay, if we're working with the divine self, which is the unlimited self, that we can manifest anything that we want. And for you, it was manifesting through intention and having this intention, oh, I want to manifest this. Do you manifest exactly that, or do you ask for like more, right? Like, what is the specific process you go through?
So I would say I always ask for more. I think that we're never complete. We're always moving through life. And I think that if I had everything I wanted, I would want to die. Like I would want to reemerge, and because life is about the newness. Even in my business, like how many times have I reinvented my own business this year? Maybe 4 or 5 times because it's like I want to do this. And then I get the idea. It's like, oh, that would be better. And that would be more fun. And that's more exciting. So I don't think that I want to limit myself to that's enough, that's good enough. So, like that example where I needed just only $400 more to do whatever. I have it now. Am I going to be happy for the next 5 weeks? No, it's like 5 minutes later, I want another one. Give me another one. Make it more juicy, make it more delightful. So I always, always, always want more.
Yeah. Could you walk through the process of how, like, perhaps like how someone could set their intentions? Like, is there a specific process you walk through?
Yeah, you take a pencil and a piece of paper and you say, I choose. So I like the words I choose, I prefer, because when you say I want, it also indicates that you don't have it. And so when I say I choose to have a good, reliable car that I could afford, the universe, it's a general intention and it starts coming to me. When I say I want that car in blue that doesn't exist, it might come, but it might take 20 years. And I'm not a very patient person. So the way I manifested my first car, I actually manifested it. I didn't pay for it. I didn't do anything. It just came to me. I said, okay, so I have these two leases, one for me and one for my wife, and they're coming to due for renewal in about 8 months. And I started thinking, what is it that I really want? So I thought about all these like muscle cars from the 70s and 80s, which were really cool. And I went to see some and I said, oh, I'd love a car where someone put 12 coats of paint and put love and intention and joy and feeling into it. And then I'd see a brand new off the lot car and it smelled like nice leather. And it's like, oh, I'd like one of these. And I played with that game every time I was on the highway. It's like, would I prefer an old car, which is like brand new, or would I like a brand new car, which is brand new? And I played with it for 8 months. I didn't really do anything, but I would write down, like my list of, I'd have a book and say, "Ooh, I like big rims and small rims, and I like the color gray, and I like whatever." And the way the car manifested for me is that one day I get a call from my mother-in-law and she says, unfortunately, your father-in-law made too much money. And we have this car, this Volvo 760 Turbo, lying in the garage, and there's no room for an extra car. Do you want it or should we get rid of it? I said, of course I want it. And the car only had in mileage, I think about 38,000 miles. So it was like brand new, but 10 years old. So it was a new and old. And before they gave it to me, they replaced all the tires. They did the tune up. They wanted to give their daughter the best car available. And we got this brand new old car just by doing it. And it wasn't, the more serious you take the manifestation, the harder it comes. So
Mm.
I just kind of throw it out there, say, this is my list. So I'm creating a brand new Volvo. I want it to be either the XC60 or V70. I said, universe, you could choose whichever's better for me. But I like both of them. I like the feel of the car. I like the look of the car. I like the size of the car. And I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know when it's going to come from, but I said, my car is starting to have a few problems. So start working on it, universe. Like, not serious. I need it right now, right now. I want it. I am very impatient, but I realize impatient only keeps things away from you.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well, I think that's a beautiful way of looking at things because oftentimes when we have like a really big attachment to it, it comes from like a lack or a scarcity, like, oh, I don't have it, so I want it. And the way that you're experiencing or explaining your way of manifestation is like it's like I choose to have that experience. It's a nice to have experience, but you're not attached to the outcome. You're allowing the universe to align with you in that frequency of you already having it. And you're over here creating the dream of what, like adding all the pieces of this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want.
yeah, and one really cool technique that your listeners might love is, I don't know why, but I got something like 20,000 hits on YouTube for this. It's a technique where I know that the hands are an extension of the soul. So what I did is I said, let's say I want a Volvo. What I do is I make a circle with my hand and I put the other hand through it with my eyes closed and I kind of feel for it in the universe. I feel the steering wheel, I feel the color, and when I feel it, I bring it back. I bring it back with me and I put it in my heart. And when I do that, I can't tell you how fast things come because when you think it, you feel it, you smell it, you taste it, the more it really becomes, the faster it comes. And it just works really, really nice.
You know what?
And by the way, just one more thing with that technique. I learned that if someone has pain and I go through the screen and I say, I'm pulling the pain out of you, usually they feel a tinge in their body. They say, oh my God, it's gone. I don't know why. It just works. It works really well.
That's really interesting. And one of the things I was gonna say I really appreciate is your enthusiasm for for life, this zest for life and this ability to want more and desire more. Because as you're speaking about manifestation and how easy it is to connect to it, that all of us can have this to tap into this ease of manifestation and this joy. Like you radiate this sense of joy in all the things that you're manifesting. Like, yes, I want to travel. I want to, I want this beautiful car. Um,
So Nikki, it did take me a long time to trust the universe. I said, I'd say that's the biggest piece in there, that we are all one and that we have to connect with higher power and guidance. Until it's okay to say I believe in God, but is he on vacation? I asked for it at least 3 times. But in the last year, I just ask and expect. I lost all doubt, all fears, all anxieties. Wherever life takes me, it will take me. But the stronger connection to source I have, and knowing I'm not alone. Like I know that we have around us people who could see, people who could hear, spirit, even yourself as you channel. I channel, but I can't channel for myself. So when my clients call me and I say, I see a giraffe, or I think a giraffe would never do that, they say, how'd you know I like giraffes? And I never talk about giraffes for myself or in general, but whenever I'm working with clients, I'm connected to that oneness, and that allows me to help them a lot. Also, because I now know what that feeling of love is, since reconnecting to that near-death experience that we about in the beginning, I know that when I'm working with someone, I just see so much love for that person. I feel so much love. I almost have tears in my eyes sometimes when I see them radiating. They come to me feeling broken and unable to move forward. And it's just like pouring out the love allows them to connect with that space. I'm just a holder of the space. And it feels so good to see that I could help even one person to have a better life.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And you talk about this connection to source. So for those that are listening, like if they want to connect more with spirit to source, do you have any advice or techniques or ways that in which they can?
So one of the ways that I started is when I learned from Raymond Grace how to use a pendulum. A pendulum is really easy to get a yes or no response. And once you trust the answers, I wouldn't tell anybody to do what I do. I just put my hand over a whole bunch of supplements. And sometimes I take the cat pills, sometimes I take the dog pills. But I trust so much my pendulum that if it says, yeah, you need some of this, I'll say, okay, how many? 12. Okay, so I must have a hairball or something, but it's okay. I trust it to that point. But that pendulum will allow you to, as a first way of accessing divinity. Through hypnosis, I've trained my fingers to have my yes response with a yes finger and a no response. So when I'm nice and calm, I ask superconscious, could I have this answer? Yes or no? I get a yes. Could you connect me to higher mind and guidance? Yes. Could you bring in my team so that we could get started? Yes. Is there anything that shouldn't be here? No. Okay, so let's get going. This is what I want. Could you help me? Yes. And I go through, people are like, why is this guy like twitching his fingers out? And I don't care what they think. But that's another thing that you could program yourself to say, this is my yes response, this is my no response. Some people, they stick out their arm and say, yes, no, yes. That's kind of awkward. There's also the sway test, which is, um, if you sway backwards, that might be your no. Forward, that's your yes. And that's also um, the, I forgot what you call muscle testing, where
Yes.
you could, this one, it took me about 10 years, but I heard of, I think from Joe Vitale, where you just make two O's, and as you tug on them, if they're strong, it's a yes. If they release, it's a no. That one works for me. Some people could just move their finger, oh, that's a yes, that's a no. I can't really sense it at all.
I've
So
tried the sway test before I was taught the little finger, like you kind of like push the finger together. And if it's weak, it means no. But if it's like strong and you can't push it together, it's like a yes.
yeah, and if that works for you, great. But I just no, I'm not a strong guy. I just want to make yeah, it's all yeah. I'm gonna win $1 million. I'll go buy $25,000 worth of tickets. I sure win something. Oh no, I was wrong. So I don't trust all my muscle, but I do trust the loops.
Mhm.
This one works really, really well for me.
Do you
Again, it took
think
me 10
that,
years to get a good yes and no using that system, but I have the other ones which work for me as well.
well, the one with the tapping, do you have to program yourself through for hypnosis or like how do you access that?
So the way I did it is through the Simpson protocol, which is a content-free hypnosis. They always use when you bring someone into hypnosis, you program it in, you say at a certain point when the person's in trance, you ask superconscious to please volunteer a yes response through one of the fingers. And you just ask the person, just allow one of the fingers to come up as a yes, and the yes finger will come up. And then you say, okay, now show me on the same hand a pinky or any other finger, which is a no, and something else will come up. In my case, it was a thumb. And once I saw that response, I would be driving. It's like, okay, so should I pick up some bread tonight for supper? Do we have any bread in the house? Yes or no? No. Okay, so I started like trusting more and more. It does take a little while, but anybody could train themselves. They close their eyes, they get into a nice centered spot, and they say, please show me a yes or no in my hands. I've gone to a point where now in meditation, I say, show me a yes with a nod, yes or no. And my nods are very, very subtle. Nobody would know I'd be doing it. It's more like this. I just feel like my chin coming down a little bit. Oh, thanks. Okay, I got that. So it's a much stronger sensation, much stronger feeling.
Oh, wow. And do you use that? I guess, can you ask anything with that, right? Like, is this a connection to divine source that you're receiving the yes or no? Or do you feel like maybe the yes or no is connected to either your higher self, your subconscious? Like, where is this connecting to?
So I connect directly to my guidance, to my higher guidance. I also ask for superconscious to be involved because the way I see it is that you have the conscious mind, which is the thinking mind, the subconscious mind, which is the data bank of all the experiences that you've had, and superconscious mind, which is not only within you, but also goes outside you for answers. So if you don't have the answers from your experiences, it goes wherever to San Diego to look for the answer. It's like, oh yeah, we got the answer there. So I always rely on it. And I know that it's all one. It's not a separate mind. It's not separate from me. It's just being able to access stuff at the right level at the right time. So if I don't know what question to ask, I could ask a question, I will not get a good answer. And if I don't ask for permission to do something, I could say, yeah, yeah, get me that $1 million through the lottery this weekend. And maybe I get it, but I haven't yet because I don't have permission to access the future and those numbers. So when I work with clients, I always ask, can we go there? Can we do that? Can we go back through all the past lifetimes through the epigenetics and look at the traumas that actually affect this person? Because everyone comes to me with some kind of problem to be resolved. And if we could go directly to the source and say, we don't need to know that you were decapitated in a last lifetime as a British soldier in India or whatever. We don't need to know that. Just go back in time and do whatever needs to be done to remove the sting, the negative emotion associated with those traumas. And I always ask for permission. Can you do that for us? Could you go back as far as necessary, if necessary, even back to the dawn of time when the dinosaur was stomping on you and you kind of like, oh my God, I don't like that. And whatever it is, it's like if you ask permission, they always give us a yes. Now, when my clients are in hypnosis, they're giving me the yes and no. So it's not even through me. And if they kind of fall asleep on me, I just say, super conscious, could we get the answers through my finger because I have a life and I want to get them out and going. So sometimes, most of the time, I do get a yes, but I want them also to have their experience.
Yeah, wow. You know, that's really beautiful because I'm starting to realize more and more that like healing can be fast. Like things that have been affecting us for a long time, it can be released really like easily. Um like one of my friends, she's like, "Well, I've been in this field for years." And she's like, back in the like 30 years ago, it was really hard to heal. Like you had to sit there and connect with the emotion and connect with the trauma that happened and then like try to release that. But now, like the method that you use, it sounds so easy. It's like we don't have to tap into the trauma. We don't have to remember the trauma. We just go to the source and release it.
Yeah, I tell people that if they come to see me and they don't get their results within 5 sessions, I don't want to see them anymore because I'm not able to take them beyond that level. And when they do come back, it's usually for a different issue. But I know that some of my clients, when I started in this field anyways, they would say, I've been in therapy for 22 years. I know exactly how it works. And I'm like, I don't want to be your best friend for the next 22 years. I want you in and out because I really, you know what, when people come to see you with their sob stories, the heartbreaks, the traumas, like it wears me out. I just want to see them with a smile on their face, gone and living their best life ever. So I really, really pride myself in having 93%, 94% success rate with my clients. And unfortunately, the 6 or 7 people out of 100 that I can't help, those are the ones that hurt me the most, but they're also the ones that make me work harder to get better so I could help everyone because they say they weren't helped. I don't know if they were or not, but when they come back a week later say, "Oh, I still got anxiety," and I wish I could say, "You've had anxiety for, you told me 12 years and you were hoping that in 35 minutes you'd be free of it forever." That's not going to happen. But if you give me 4 or 5 sessions, you're going to have between sessions more and more good days and fewer bad days. And then you're going to transition from good and bad days to really wonderful days. So, new habits of being happy. When someone has been in anxiety for a long period of time, even a year, they kind of forgot what it takes to be happy again. And that's a new habit that has to be chosen, and the person has to, at that point, do the work. It's like the treadmill. I'll show you all the exercises, I'll get you going, but if you don't turn on that treadmill, you will not get muscular, you will not get fit. And the mind is the same thing. It wants to go back to the old patterns. You have to start installing new ideas all the time and working on them. So in the morning, I make my gratitude list. I am grateful for Nikki. I am grateful to be able to talk to all these people who watch the show. I'm grateful for all the clients I got today. I'm grateful for a wonderful, beautiful day. Here in Canada, sorry, it was summer last week. Now it's like, here's my toque on my, I won't put it on, but I've got a hat to put on because it was so cold today. I was just shaking when I went out for lunch. But I'm still grateful that I have heating in the house, food in the fridge, all these things.
Yes. Thank you for sharing your practice of gratitude because I do that often too. Like, I've started creating better habits of like in the morning journaling or doing gratitude, and those habits actually shift, like it shifts the energy. It shifts the way that the mind is wired. Because I used to wake up all the time and like go straight to my phone, and it triggers like anxiety, like, oh, you're not doing the things you're supposed to be doing and all of these things. So the way that you're sharing, starting new habits that actually allow like the rewiring of your brain for more positive experiences, right? Like even the gratitude is a feeling. The gratitude is a feeling of introducing good feelings versus like the anxiety inducing feelings.
So Nikki, in my house, I have two fish bowls, and next to them, I have sticky notes. And every time I am grateful for something, I write, "I'm grateful for Nikki," and I throw it into the fishbowl. And my fish bowls are pretty full. I have to empty them and start over again. But whenever I'm having a bad day, oh, I'm grateful for this person for coming into my life. I'm grateful for um, that other person. I'm grateful for the call I got this morning. I'm grateful for the success I had with that person. I'm grateful for being introduced to you. And so I look at these, and it doesn't take more than a minute to raise your frequency just by reading all the gratitudes in that fishbowl.
Wow. I love that.
Sticky notes, they were the right size. They were just the right size. So that's why I'm using sticky notes. They could be a piece of paper.
I love that actually, because it's important to have things that kind of anchor and work for you. Like I've noticed I've tried different things and it's like I think a lot, so sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, and then I forget. So having reminders like that, that's actually really helpful.
And wherever your vibration is, you could choose to make it higher. So even at that gratitude level, there's a higher level, which is total love and connection to source. So,
Ooh,
but in the Abraham Hicks chart, it's an emotional chart. You can go from depression to bliss. But if you could go from depression to anger, you're moving forward. If you could go from anger to hopefulness, you're moving forward. If you could go from hopefulness all the way to optimism, you're doing absolutely great. So even having that jar, if you're not in the right mindset, you won't even see it. Like it'll be invisible to you. But if you could get close enough to the jar to pick up something you're grateful for, it will get you back to that level from where you can move forward from there.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I would love to invite you to do your hypnosis with us because you had shared an exercise earlier, that helps us get into that state. Would you be open to do that now?
I'm totally open to it. So I'm going to be working on you, Nikki, but everybody who's listening in on this, all you have to do is follow along and just make sure that when you're going into hypnosis, that you're safe and secure, that you're sitting on a comfortable place where you won't fall over and hit your head. You have to take responsibility at least for that part of it because hypnosis is really natural. We do that all the time when we're driving, and it's known as highway hypnosis, where you get from point A to point B, but you have no idea how you got there because you were deep in thought, but your mind was completely aware of all that was going on. So the exercise I'm going to do is take everybody on a hot air balloon. You'll have your individual balloons that you will be navigating. And when you come out of it, you are going to be letting go of all the people, places, circumstances, and events that have been holding you down, stopping you from soaring. So there's nothing really you need to do. You could close your eyes, get comfortable. If you fall asleep, nobody has ever been stuck in hypnosis for the rest of their life. That's a fairy tale. It's called Sleeping Beauty. But everybody else, eventually, within 10, 15 minutes, you'll open your eyes and come out of it. So have a good ride, everybody, and I'll see you on the other side. Nikki, are you ready?
Ready.
So I'd like you to take a deep breath and close your eyes, which they already are, and breathe out. Now focus on your breath and allow your eyes to remain closed. Every breath that you take will send wave after wave of relaxation, feeling so good, so safe, so secure. Wave after wave, taking you deeper and deeper. Pretty soon, as you go even deeper, focus on my voice. And as you focus on my voice will take you to another level, even more comfortable, even more relaxed. And as you go deeper, just listening to my voice, you start to connect with who you really are, your authentic self, the person you're becoming. And I'm going to count backwards from 3 to 1 and allow every number to double that level of relaxation, going beyond anything you have ever experienced before. So here we go. 3, 2, all the way down to 1 as you sink even deeper beyond any relaxation and feeling so good, so happy in the space, feeling so connected to who you really are, and every muscle getting loose and limp, lazy and relaxed, feeling feeling them unwind and unfurl, letting go of any tension anywhere in your body. And as you go deeper, all the sounds around you, the sound of my voice, the sound of the cars going by, even the sounds of the air and the electrical in your space take you even deeper. As you breathe and listen to the sound of your breath, even the sound of your breath takes you much, much deeper, much more relaxed. And in a moment, I'm going to count backwards once again from 3 to 1. That's right, just allow it to happen. And as I count backward, your authentic self, that person you are becoming, will take you even deeper, doubling that relaxation with every number. So let's do that now. 3, 2, all the way down to 1, feeling so incredibly good as you let go and let God, feeling the love for all people, feeling the love of life. And as your muscles relax, as your mind relaxes, if you need to move, want to move, just give yourself permission to move and notice what that does. Even the movement of your body, a simple nod, getting more comfortable in that chair takes you even deeper. And now, as I count backwards from 3 to 1, you'll go as if 10 times deeper, 10 times more relaxed. And as you do connect more and more with who you really are, with your higher self, with your higher guidance, and just allow it to happen naturally, easily, effortlessly. Now, 3, 2, 1. As you focus on your breath, you are so incredibly relaxed, connected to who you really are. Every exhale, you sense and notice tingling sensations, different feelings in your body, allowing that stuck energy just to let go, cascading down, all the way down from your feet into the center of the earth, connected so strongly to your team, to my team, to source, and feel how much love there is for you. During this session, you'll be able to hear everything I say, remember everything I say, and my voice will always be there with you, making sure that you're safe and totally secure. So now I'd like you to imagine traveling, journeying to a beautiful grand hotel. There you are on the mezzanine level with a grand ballroom behind you. You notice down below the lobby, you notice the big, huge chandelier. And as you breathe, you could hear the sounds in the hotel, the sounds of the music being piped in, the white noise to allow it to be a quiet space, even though it's so vast. You look around you, you notice the porters with luggage going towards the elevators, and down below, the staff of the hotel doing their jobs, checking in people, some with suitcases, and most of them with cell phones. And yet you notice someone down there, a lady with a red dress and a red hat, wondering who she is and why she's there. And yet, even with that, with every breath, you sink even deeper. And now you go up to the escalator towards the lobby, a big, huge escalator. And as you put your hand on the rail, the lower it goes, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the deeper you want to go. And the deeper you want to go, the more comfortable, the more relaxed, and the better you feel. As the escalator approaches the landing, you get off, and there in front of you, outside in the courtyard, you notice a big, huge balloon, a hot air balloon with your name on it. That balloon is waiting for you, and you wonder why. So you go outside the doors, leaving all the stuff behind, the noise from the lobby, the people minding their own business. And as you get closer and closer to the balloon, you step inside. You look around and you notice a whole bunch of people holding it down. All these ropes on all four sides. Some of the faces look familiar and some totally unknown. But it's your time to soar now. And we're going to allow that balloon to rise. Inside the balloon, you notice on each side there's a switch. And as you push the first switch, all those ropes on that side drop to the ground. Nothing and nobody is going to stop you from soaring. We go to the other side, and again, the ropes fall. The third side, and now that the fourth side is free and clear, you notice the balloon rising. You feel so good, so free, so light as the balloon goes higher and higher. Down below, you could see those people now looking smaller and smaller. Whatever they're saying is total rubbish, all mixed in like little cartoon characters talking a bunch of gibberish. It's no longer important, for people are people, and what they say from up here, where you're free, where you're happy, where you're soaring, are totally insignificant. Now you look over and you notice Canada geese flying by. You wonder why they're flying so far south. And as you look at one of the lead goose, he winks at you and you smile. He knows what it's like to be free. He knows what it's like to soar. And he approves of your ascent. The sky is blue, the sun is out. This is a perfect day, the best day of your life. You haven't felt this free, so light, so good for such a long time. And you could go even higher towards that big, huge cloud in the sky. The cloud is shaped like a castle, created by the lords, by the kings, who have fought many wars. And yet, up on the top near the turrets, there's a big flag for every king, every lord would want to show off, tell the world that this was their victory, that they had conquered, whether it was the dragons or the other kings or the demons. Flying that flag was their way of saying, I've made it. And as you look around where you are and where the cloud is, the only way to get there is by letting go, really letting go of all the stuff you've accumulated, which are in bags around the basket. You don't have to look in the bags, just knowing that they are weighing you down. Problems, people, circumstances, and events. Just allow the first bag to drop. And as you look over the side, you notice it exploding into a million pieces, into a big puff of powder. It is gone, it is broken, it is finished. You can never bring it back to what it was. So just let all the other ones go. And as you do, the balloon goes higher and higher. And you feel so free, so light. In the next breath, you find yourself entering the castle right through the clouds. Notice the sensation of the air, how moist and fresh it feels, what it feels like to be the queen or the king of that castle, the victor. And you reach your hand out, you grab that flag, the flag, so that the whole world knows that you are victorious, that the whole world knows that you have achieved your highest level of who you are and can be. You take that flag and you wave it around so that the whole world could see it. You feel so empowered, you feel so proud, you feel so wonderful knowing you have achieved. And as you do that, I'm going to ask you to take that flag and anchor it right into your heart for any time you need to feel powerful, excited, victorious. You'll have access to that feeling. It is yours now, yours to keep. For the cloud is going to float away, dissolve into something, but that victory is yours. And they say that no matter what happens, a hot air balloon never goes back to the exact point from where it started. And whoever is in that balloon will never go back the same person that they started as. And now it's time to come home. The balloon starts to descend, feeling really good. A slow, gentle descent. You look over the side. You notice people cheering and clapping. They're so happy to see you. They're so excited for your victory. And you feel so good. You notice there's a lady with a red hat and a red dress. And it makes you think, who is she? Why is she there? And she's walking around, and the balloon is coming down, and people are cheering and screaming with excitement. You have arrived. You have now landed. The balloon is on the ground. They come running up to you. They open the door. They hug you. They kiss you. You see the excitement in their eyes. They love you. You are loved beyond anything you could imagine. And whenever you're ready, come back. Come back to here and now, feeling that love, feeling the flag anchored into your heart, feeling absolutely great. And welcome back.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. When I was going higher and higher, like my consciousness was like, whoa, like I completely went off into like
Beautiful, isn't
such a
it?
high state.
And had I had a whole hour, you would have kept on going higher and higher.
Oh man, I do feel lighter. It feels so amazing. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for letting me do this for you and everybody else as well.
Well, Alan, I would love to end today's podcast with your beautiful free gift for our audience members. If you guys enjoyed Alan's hypnosis today, you don't want to miss his free gift. So go ahead, Alan.
So yeah, for everybody who wants a free gift, all they have to do is follow the link. And I am offering a free hypnosis session for any problem, for for anything at all. I love what I do, and there's no strings attached. You come in, I give you an hour, and I'll make this a better world because you will be a happier person afterwards. So that was my free offer.
Beautiful. Thank you. And if anyone is interested in working with you, do you have a website that they can connect with you at?
So my website is allanhypnosis.com. Allan is Allan, hypnosis.com, and they can connect through there.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Alan, for being here. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in as always. And I'm so excited to see you guys in the next episode. Bye for
It was
now.
my pleasure. Bye, everyone.